Do you find yourself not having fun in video games anymore? Do they not slap the same as when you opened up Minecraft for the first ever time and realised all of the possibilities and the endless things that you would be able to do? Well, I've been having that problem. I don't enjoy video gaming anymore, and I'm going to be talking about, in a little follow-up video to the one I did, some different things that people suggested I could do and different ways they think video games are becoming not fun, and just discuss it as a whole in a pretty chilled back, old school YouTube kind of way. So kick back, relax as we discuss why video games just aren't fun in 2024. So one of the first things I kept seeing over and over again on the comments of that last video is people saying that they don't get the same magic that you get from when you played video games for the first time as a kid. Now, while I somewhat believe that, there are many different reasons as to why I think that could be the case. And I think it all starts with the sort of generation that we grew up in video games. Now, the games that I grew up playing were three main AAA titles. There was Minecraft, which I'm playing now, there was Call of Duty, and there was FIFA. Now, these games were some of the biggest at the time, but I also think they have stopped me from loving gaming as much as I should these days, because the games that I grew up playing and still have some connection to and want to play have undoubtedly gotten worse. But not only have they gotten worse, I don't think that's the main problem. I think they've gotten stale. How often do you find yourself loading up a game and basically repeating what you've done 100 times before? I'll open up a Minecraft world, I'll start off, I'll make a little base, I'll collect some diamonds, and then I'll expand my base a bit and I might go mine some more. I've done that 100, maybe even 1,000 times already. And for what? What is the point of me loading up a game and doing the same thing over and over again? When you think about it, what makes a job boring? It's not really the actual job that you're doing. More often than not, it's the fact that you're doing the same thing over and over again every single day. How many people get a job and they absolutely love it at the start because it's new, something different, even if it is one of the most mundane tasks, but because you haven't done it before, it all feels different and exciting. That is what gaming should be. We need to spice it up a little bit more, venture out your comfort zones, do stuff that you don't normally do. When I first ever started playing Call of Duty, one of the main attractions to me was it feeling almost realistic, something completely different. It felt crazy that I could almost vision myself and feel what it was like on not even a scale, like we're talking nothing compared to real war, but just get a sense of it, something that I'd never experienced before. I remember one of the first games I played was World at War, and starting those missions off in an eerie Japanese battle camp as you're escaping your way through, getting jumped by the kamikaze as you're trying to escape a prison camp. It gave me a rush of excitement that I don't think I'd ever felt before from many things. But if I play it again now, it will not give the same. A, I know what's happening. B, because I know what's going to happen. The first time I played it, I had no idea. And then there was little things. There was like finding out that if you squatted down in certain holes in the ground, a ray gun would appear. And then best of all, when you completed that and you finished the campaign, you would get a secret zombies mode that at the time absolutely blew my mind away. Surviving in this tiny little room with a bunch of zombies running around chasing you, just trying to get round after round after round. There was nothing better, but now that feels dry. I've done it 100 times before, and going back to these old games now makes you realise that we do actually have great games. We have been blessed with loads of different things. If you look at the first ever zombies map on Call of Duties, it is so basic. There is hardly anything you can do. The first room doesn't have pack-a-punch, it doesn't have wonder weapons, it doesn't have anything like that. If you look at the early versions of Minecraft, you are so limited to what you can do. It doesn't have enchanting, you don't even need to collect food for your hunger, you just have to worry about it insta healing. The redstone's very basic, there's nothing to explore, there's about 5 different biomes, you can only make the most simple creations out of your houses, but we love that. So why does it make any sense that the one that we've been blessed with now, we don't enjoy as much as that one when there is so much more than we can do? Well, I think it all comes down to what I was pointing at the start of the video. We're doing the same things that we could always do. I even have a weird thing when I load up a Minecraft world. I'll want this type of biome that I'm in now because this is what reminds me of Minecraft. Why don't I go and find a acacia biome that has loads of different coloured trees and would make everything feel different in the game? Why don't I load up different texture packs to change the game? There's so many reasons I want it to stay the same, and I think it's because I cling on to the little bit of magic that I felt when I first played the game and in the early days of it, so I want to get that same sort of feeling. But all I'm really doing is repeating the process that I've done 100 times over. It's going to look the same. I'm going to make a similar house design. Everything's going to be the same because I'm afraid to venture out, because I'm chasing that first bit of magic I felt from a video game. Now, I saw some comments rightfully go at me saying, oh, you're just another one of these Minecraft YouTubers, you've never played anything else. And it's so true. I can't even argue with this. I'm such a AAA game whore. I play Call of Duty, I played FIFA, Minecraft, I dabbled out in a little bit of Destiny, tiny bit of Battlefield, maybe a bit of Smite here and there, and then your odd tiny little indie games, your Among Us's, your Fortnite. But barring that, I hardly ventured out into different video games. There's a whole heap of genres I didn't touch. There's a whole heap of hours of challenges and quests that would feel so different to anything I've ever done before that might blow my mind completely. So one thing I have done is bought an Xbox Game Pass and the EA Access, and I'd love for recommendations of different games I should try out to see if I can find the magic in there. But I don't have much money at the minute, so I just want suggestions that are on those platforms so that they're free to me, thanks. Another comment that I saw as well was someone talking about how modding and the reputation of modding video games has made them go downhill as less people do it. And this is true to an extent. There's two different types of modding in my opinion. The first type of modding is the one that makes it unfair on other players. And that's just terrible. It will just ruin games, if anything, as loading up an old game on anything and it's full of hackers that are just going to wipe you completely kills the vibe of it. But the type of modding that's great is when you look at Minecraft and they have hundreds of different mods that can change the game in infinite different ways. You look at Call of Duty Zombies maps that got custom made ones that are even more complex than the base game ones themselves that you can get free of charge. Mods can be used absolutely brilliantly if there's a great modding community there. I remember one of the first modding things I found was Tekkit for Minecraft, and I thought that was incredible. The idea of being able to set up a whole system to automatically get goods with quarries and mines. And then I was watching, there used to be the Yogcast, and they had a Jaffa Cake Factory series, and even just the idea of that just blew my mind, that they could fully automate inside of Minecraft a way to make Jaffa Cakes just through a different texture pack and a few tiny mods. And if you actually look the trend of video games, I don't think they're becoming less popular. I think the younger generation are playing different video games. Fortnite took over that younger generation market. The amount, if you go and ask most 15-year-olds now, have you ever played Call of Duty? I reckon you'll only find yes from maybe 10% of them say. Ask that in 2012. It was probably 80% of them had played Call of Duty. Go ask a 15-year-old now if they played Fortnite, and 80% of them will say they have. And for that generation, there'll be another video game come along that they'll be saying the same thing about, how the generation below them doesn't play it, never played Fortnite, and they're all playing this new game. And you grow up with that, and I think it's okay to grow up with that, but I don't think you'll ever get bored of video games. I just think you'll get bored of repeating the process over and over again. So what I might do on this channel is start up a little sub-series of me going and playing different video games and seeing if they can make me fall in love with gaming again. Now, one thing I do think that holds me back from enjoying other video games is how good Call of Duty and etc. made movement. I watched the Fallout series the other day and I thought, oh, I'd love to play Fallout. But when I went onto the game, it felt so clunky compared to Call of Duty and hard to control my character. And I know there's always a learning curve behind a new game and you've got to get used to it. But this felt different. It felt so hard to actually do anything that it made it so unenjoyable, because I'm used to such a fluid movement system that I was spoiled with in Call of Duty games, and gun mechanics that felt so natural to me at the time. Now, one game I do really want to wrap my head around, because what I think it does is it takes something that I love, which is search and destroy in Call of Duty, and absolutely propel it to a whole new different level, is Rainbow Six Siege. But again, that game has such a steep learning curve, and I look at it in my bit older age where I'm not as free with time, going, am I ever going to be able to get the grasp and learn this game properly? I'm not too sure. If I can, then that would be amazing, because I know for a fact if I knew what the hell was going on, and if I mastered the mechanics of the game, I would really enjoy it. And also, I'd need friends to play that game with, because it would be excelled 100 times going into one of those games with, because it'll be excelled 100 times going into one of those games with friends. But to conclude, I don't think video games are dying. I think people are playing video games in boring ways, trying to chase the magic they once felt. And that's okay to do. But if you really want to have fun playing video games again, you need to try something new. And I'm going to try my very best to succeed in that.